Hello, everyone, and welcome to another action-packed episode of VectorCrush. My name is Dwayne Ferguson. I play a doctor on TV, and I'm one in real life. A doctor of love. Anyway, what I want to show you guys today is how to take this shack, and yes, it is included in the download section. It's a house that I found on the highway, very scary, and I'm just compelled to keep taking pictures of it so I can scare myself constantly. What I want to do is make it less cheery, and believe it or not, that's possible. I'm going to use the new adjustments panel inside of Photoshop CS4, and I'm also going to show you how to create a layer of fog. So let's go ahead and get started. This version of Photoshop is brand new, and it's a part of the new production bundle. I'm currently using the production bundle, which has After Effects and all that other kinds of good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and show you right here. On our right, we have this guy called the Adjustments panel. Click on it one time, and you see that you can add all kinds of effects to your image. As a matter of fact, I'll move my image over a little bit by holding down the space bar. The problem with this particular image is it's still too cheery. I know, this house can give you a nightmare as it is. But look at the sky. It's bright and blue, and the colors are vivid. The grass is vivid. I think we need to pull that color out. That process is called desaturation. And we can do that with a hue saturation level adjustment, which is this guy right here. Click on it, and what we want to do is go to where it says saturation, and go to the slider and start to suck the color out of the image. And now it's getting all dark, and it looks a little bit more moody. This is the kind of house that you would fully expect Keiko from The Grudge to live in up here in the attic. So don't be surprised when you're working on this file and you happen to hear in the background a little bit of a sorry about that. I just scared myself. All right. I also want to pull some of the lightness out of this image as well. Make it a little bit darker. So far, that's our first adjustment. I'm going to now go to this little arrow on the bottom left hand of the adjustments panel. And I'm going to put a different effect on here. I think I'm going to go for, let's think here, I think I'll go for a color balance. And I'm going to just go ahead and push a little bit of this blue in here like so. And let's see here, bring some of the cyan out of the image and a little bit of the magenta, just a little tiny bit, just to give it a little bit more of that gloom, but still keep some color in there. And last but not least, let me think what I'm going to do now. I think I will go to exposure, and I'll play around with the gamma. As you can see, we can mess up the midtones with this slider, so you can make it really dark and creepy by going just a little bit to the right. All right, that looks a little bit better to me. Now, what I want to do is add a little bit of a fog effect to this image. For that, we're going to paint our own fog and then blur it. So I'm going to go to the layers, and I'm going to click on the icon down here that says create a new layer. And I'm going to double click where it says layer 1 and rename it fog. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my brush tool, and with the right bracket on my keyboard, I can make that bigger like so and smaller with the left bracket. I'm also going to zoom out of my image by pressing Command on the Mac and the negative sign on the keyboard. If you're on a PC, that would be Control and the minus key. And I'm going to also click on this swatch right here to change this color to a bluish color like that and just paint. I know it doesn't look like fog yet, but it shall, my friends. So I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to come down here and do the same thing. I'll increase the size of the brush quite a bit. I'll come up here, and I'm going to go back to my swatch here and darken that color up. Put some of that in there. This is what we like to call the cartoon fog. The cartoon fog of doom. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to this time lighten it up with a little bit of gray and put that in there as well. Once again, I'm just painting very, very lightly, very loosely. Now I'm going to put a little color, just a little bit of that dark purple. Okay, so we have some color in there, and one more hit of color, I think some green, some dark green. Like that green from that movie The Fog with Adrienne Barbeau. Now I'm going to go to the filter menu, choose blur, Gaussian blur, and I'll increase the blur quite a bit. Just want to blur that stuff so the colors are all nice and mixed. Look at that. About 90 pixels does the trick. Last but not least, I'm going to go to the layers panel again, and I'm going to drop the opacity down of my fog so I can kind of see through it. And now we have this really creepy scene with this weird fog in this house. If you want to, by the way, you can play around with these blend modes to see how the different effects are applied to your fog until you find something that you're really happy with. The blend mode simply change the way the pixels interact with the layers beneath it so that you can get a really cool effect with your layer that you're currently working on. I think that looks kind of cool, exclusion. I'll use exclusion, and I'm going to drop that down a little bit more. And now we have spooky house, spooky fog, and Kayoko, some up in the, uh-oh, I'm starting to stumble. That means she's in here somewhere. I think it's,